We're going to take a look at one of my knives in this video. This is a custom fighting Bowie by J.W. Bensinger out of Vermont. He is one of the best knife makers in the world right now, in my personal opinion. We talked for a good bit of time to create exactly what I wanted, and he really delivered. I've had this knife now for 2 years-ish, and it is everything I have ever wanted in a Bowie knife. This is, for those of you that are familiar with it, this is my iron mistress. It is a differentially tempered 5160 full tang construction integral guard Bowie knife. Although calling it a Bowie knife is a bit of a stretch, but it's the only real way to classify this thing. The leather work is done by me because I enjoy doing that sort of thing. But here is the knife itself. The blade itself is based on a number of Mexican fighting Bowies. The guard is based on Bagwell's blade catcher guards. A lot of people have commented that it is similar to a Japanese sai, and I can totally see that, but that's not really what it's there for, and I'll get into that in a little bit. The handle is a modified coffin handle. Now, what's modified about it is that it has this slight curve that allows you to really take the knife onto point in a fencing style grip. But it also leaves you enough puño, or butt of the weapon, if you are an FMA practitioner, that allows you to bind, to catch, and use all your puño type stuff. It is designed with both cuts and back cuts in mind, forward cuts, snap cuts. It's got a really quick movement, but it's got a long sweeping back point so that you can easily back cut with it. Let's talk about some specifics now in length, because I don't particularly keep track of these things. We'll do it right here. The length of the blade in total is just under 18 inches from tip to pommel. The blade itself is, well, let's rephrase that. The cutting surface is 10.5 inches. The full blade length from tip to bottom of the ricasso is 11.5 inches. The guards are 4 inches from outside to outside, and the point of balance is just forward, basically in line with the quillions right there. All right, now what these quillions are designed specifically for is for catching blades. That is a thing you can do with larger bowies. If you are dealing with other larger bowies, or if you look at things from the period side. Ooh, wow, wind's moving my camera around. If you look at things from the period side of the whole Bowie milieu, as it were, you could catch a military saber with these guards off of a parry. When you take another Bowie knife, and this is, here, let's do this. For a comparison, here is a cold steel Laredo, which is the same as their Trailmaster and a number of their other Bowie knives. It's a very good Bowie knife for those of you that don't want to spend the money for a custom knife, but still want a really sharp, good quality Bowie. I recommend the older cold steel ones. I can't really speak about modern cold steel because I haven't bought one of their new post buyout knives, so that is that's up in the air. But let's look at them in comparison. As we can see, the blade is just a little bit longer, although they are about the same width. And to prevent any damage to this with what I'm going to demonstrate, I'm putting it back in its sheath. But the idea of these blade catcher guards is that as you parry something, the knife slides down into it and you can apply leverage to the knife. And it's not like it's about catching it and holding it for, the length of the fight. All we're looking at is a quick bind to move the blade out of the way so that you can disengage and strike your target. It's kind of like trapping in martial arts. It's not about some kind of cool grappling tie-up lock. It just gives you that moment to get into that opening. This is a wonderful knife. I'd say it probably weighs a little over a pound. It's heavy for a fighting Bowie, but it is surprisingly well balanced, and so it's still nimble and quick. If you are looking for a knife that is on the level of something that Bill Bagwell would have made before he passed away, I highly recommend you reach out to Jim and talk to him. You can find him online at the VermontKnifesmith.com, I believe. But just look up J.W. Bensinger, that's Bensinger, and knife on Google, and you'll find him. He does fantastic work. I hope that answers everybody's questions about this knife. And if you have any more questions, if I missed something, please go ahead, leave a comment in the comments, and I'm pretty quick at answering these sort of things. As usual, if you're new here, I cover knives, swords, Filipino martial arts, my crazy blue heeler dog, and all sorts of things that deal with my personal martial arts journey through both historical European martial arts and Filipino martial arts, leaning heavily toward Filipino martial arts. So take care, everybody.